KHALID rose to prominence in an interesting time in music. The streaming era hadn't fully taken over, and post-Lorde and the success of Pure Heroin, pop ushered in a new bold class of teen stars. Teen stars that felt a little more mature, a little more honest, and willing to strip their sonic palettes back, abandoning the ultra-bombastic electro party pop that dominated the late 2000s and early 2010s. I consider Alessia Cara to be a part of this class as well. Like many artists that emerged in the 2010s, KHALID got his start online. His debut single Location set the internet on fire. It was released in 2016. According to his label, KHALID released Location before his high school graduation, and it garnered over 1.5 million plays in less than 2 months, which led to his major label deal with Right Hand Music Group and RCA Records. One listen to Location and it's easy to see why it took off the way it did, especially given the times. It's dipped in Frank Ocean influence. KHALID has a very recognizable timbre to his voice. His voice is deep and smoky, which definitely wasn't commonplace on pop radio at the time of its release. His diction was very in vogue. The over-exaggerated vowels and distant delivery feels very tailor-made for Tumblr. The song isn't necessarily hooky, but it is catchy. Location is different enough, but not so different that it's isolating. It's easy listening. The song eventually peaked at number 16 on the charts and became one of KHALID's diamond singles, selling over 10 million copies in the States alone. After Location, KHALID felt inescapable, not in an obvious way where he was plastered everywhere, but his music seemed to be everywhere, and it seemed like he was really developing a strong cult fan base. The second single from the album, Young, Dumb and Broke, is my personal favorite KHALID song. Produced by Joel Little, Lorde's producer at the time, it's a quaint piece of trap pop that talks about the teen experience. It was a sleeper hit, and it's also certified diamond. His debut album, American Teen, was well received, though it didn't necessarily launch Pandemonium. It's in KHALID's place as more of a mellow vibe-centric artist, more than an artist that commands your attention or requires lyrical analyzations. It's an appropriate and solid debut album for a teenager, but the themes and sonic palettes definitely lean towards being monotonous. I think that with the singles of this album, KHALID pointed towards something that could be expanded, developed, and far more interesting, but the album as a whole just sticks to this very low-key mellow pop and R&B approach that is just simple enough to catch a lot of ears. If I had to describe it, I'd say it's like a mesh of Lorde, Frank Ocean, and a hint of The Weeknd mixed together, but squeeze their lyrical prowess, commanding production, and sharp melodies out of it and make it more palpable for general audiences, and that's American Teen. The singles are the best part of this album, though 18 is a nice song as well. After all, American Teen is a debut album, and from someone that blew up virtually overnight. But I think as time went on, KHALID made it more clear that he preferred a more mellow space not only in his art, but in pop music as well. Soon after his debut, KHALID extended his presence through features. Features can do one or two things: extend and add to your brand, or dilute your brand. With KHALID, I think it worked out well for him, at least commercially. His features are just as big and as well known as his own songs. He featured on the Heart Part 4 by Kendrick Lamar. His most known feature is arguably Logic's 1800 alongside Alessia Cara, which is a divisive song, celebrated for its impact, but criticized for its execution, lyrics, and musical composition. KHALID had one feature after another, his husky vocals being in high demand. He had Silence with Marshmello, Homemade Dynamite with Lorde, Youth with Shawn Mendes, Love Lies with Normani, and everyone's personal favorite, Lovely with Billie Eilish, the latter being yet another diamond sleeper hit for KHALID. KHALID's voice became a hot commodity, but I'm not so sure that KHALID the artist did. He seemed to have had more of a grasp on developing his niche during his debut record. Then he just became the feature artist, perhaps even developing an over-reliance on features. After this single run, he also had Eastside with Halsey and Benny Blanco. In 2018, he released Better, which became his first solo top 10 hit. It was the lead single to his EP, Sun City, which didn't make much of an impact. His 2019 album, Free Spirit, was a commercial success. Many people will recognize the lead single from this album, Talk, produced by Disclosure. It's a sleek minimalist pop R&B number. I would describe it as a more adult version of Location. They share similar themes, similar sonic directions, and a similar simplicity. The album was received far more divisively than his first album, with some critics calling it cliché and less interesting than his first release. In between the break between his albums, in August of 2021, KHALID released a statement about how he had been losing passion for music. I only want to be the artist I want to be, because creating is what keeps me from losing my mind. But my passion goes away a little more every day. I just want to finish this album, and it's really driving me crazy at this point. I didn't even want to come on here ranting, but I gotta get this out of me. I'm really sorry to keep you guys waiting for this album, because I want it to be out more than anyone. So much that finishing it has become overwhelming, and I need to find that joy again. Shortly after, he released a mixtape called Scenic Drive. Between the release of his second and third albums, there was a 5-year wait, and eventually his third album, Sincere, was released. The album feels like a combination of what he's done, as well as an expansion into the trap soul genre. It feels a few years late. The album became KHALID's worst performing album, only peaking at number 43 on the charts. In late 2024, KHALID had his first ever career controversy when he was unfortunately outed as gay by one of his former boyfriends. This came literally out of nowhere. KHALID responded to the controversy by doing the best thing you could do in this scenario, by owning it. He put the pride flag. There y'all go. Next topic, please. I am gay and that's okay. I got outed and the world still continues to turn. Let's get this straight. I am not ashamed of my sexuality. In reality, it ain't nobody's business, but I am okay with me. The post came shortly after an ex-user, Hugo Almonte, went on a posting rampage about the artist he's had sex with, and wrote that one of your favorite gay R&B singers once offered him drugs and tried to set him up and lie that he broke into his house. KHALID did not name Almonte, but seemingly confirmed that they were romantically involved 4 to 5 years ago, but had not spoken since. This is all random. I don't know why he did it. KHALID said after dismissing the allegations that he ever consumed cocaine or paid for sex. He also denied that he accused anybody publicly of breaking into his house. He also clarified, I don't need a publicity stunt for attention. It's not my vibe. And as KHALID stated, the world keeps turning. He likes men. Who cares? To be frank, there were rumors about KHALID's sexuality, but it's never something people hyper-focused on given he's a private figure. And honestly, it doesn't matter. As for KHALID the artist, he did release collabs with Normani and Chloe following this controversy, but they didn't make an impact. With the shifting pop trends post-pandemic, the artists that exist merely to fill playlists and aren't creating their own worlds and allure are being sidelined in favor of more niche and defined brands. KHALID makes music that can easily be played in the background. It's pleasant, it's vibey, and it's non-threatening. I did think his career would develop a little differently following American Teen, and I suppose it did, just not in the way most people expected. He's a playlist pop star, not a traditional one. Pitchfork stated, KHALID's simultaneously a pop star of the past and the future. Like so many pop stars before him, his albums only amplify weaknesses that are difficult to detect when he's only releasing a single every couple of weeks or months. But KHALID feels perfect for an era where some of the most popular music is popular because it fits onto Spotify playlists meant solely to be used as background noise. NPR actually had a discussion with KHALID and his team where they're actually very forthcoming about his place in pop music, titled KHALID is the shooting star of the playlist era. His A&R said, he kind of very carefully keeps a foot in both of those worlds. So when it comes to playlisting, we attempt to reach either with his music, whether it's like let's try to get the biggest R&B looks, or this is more of a mainstream sounding record. Let's go for the more pop and maybe fitness style mood playlists. Part of the playlist conversation is this idea of background music or music that does really well as a sort of emotional wallpaper, as I've called it, Pelly says. It's just not something that can be expected of all music. KHALID and his team aren't aiming for wallpaper, says NPR, but his songs are made flexible by their tonality, and with their shy edge and up-to-date details, eminently relatable. So his team has been very forthcoming about their want for domination of playlists, which has worked out well for KHALID. But the industry is ever shifting, and while there will always be space for wallpaper pop, we are currently in an era that demands a little bit of more world building from their pop stars if you want fans to be consistently invested in your work. KHALID might continue to be a low-key hitmaker. He might make a left turn. His new releases might fade in prominence altogether, but the hits he's achieved will likely always be there, playing in the background, as they always have.